And done for Barcelona as they pick up 3 points to continue their impressive start to the season. Here's Robert Lewandowski after the game.
With Robert Lewandowski, congratulations on your third hat-trick, first of the season. 12 goals in all competitions. You started this season amazing.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I score again the goals, and what is more important, that we won the next game after a period that we play 5 games and that we have between only 2 games between. That was for us extremely hard, but in the end now we have the national break, so of course now we are happy that we play very well today, and of course I'm very happy that I scored the goals.
You are the most scary attacking trio of all Europe, 23 goals with Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, 5 more than Bayern, 9 more than Real Madrid. What do you think it changed, or why you have this season such a special connection with these two?
Of course, I think we understand each together more than before, and also the connection on the pitch is the most important. But I think that all team playing also for us, and also the players that playing well in defensive, that we have more more confidence playing forward, more with the risk also, and we know that we are take care behind. So it's always if you're playing from the defense to the forward like that in the one direction, that is the perfect solution. So of course we are happy that we scoring the goals, but in the end all team working offensive, and also we have to work in the defensive.
So what that means then going into the international break, Barcelona 3 points clear of Real Madrid, who of course won yesterday against Villarreal. For more on this, let's welcome in Luis Garcia. Luis, it was widely reported, wasn't it? If Xavi was going to stay in charge of Barcelona, he wanted Lewandowski out of the club. Hansi Flick has come in, and I suppose it's no coincidence considering how good he was when he was at Bayern with Lewandowski, how he's getting the best now out of this, let's not forget, 36-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. I think that right now the understanding between the manager and the player has been fantastic. It's a totally different style of the Xavi managing Barcelona. Let's not forget that they did a fantastic job in the first year and a half, and then things start going bad and not getting the result that he was expecting. All the style of play, it was a very bad Barcelona. But now with this style where it's more aggressive, the Barcelona team is more time in the offensive pitch. You can see Lewandowski receiving more balls in better condition. He doesn't have to work that much in trying to recover it. So in the end, he's in the right places. And well, he started fantastic this season. I think the whole team is doing a totally different experience in the pitch. And well, the results are arriving there. So he's giving more confidence, even with all the players that they got injured. So a fantastic start for Barcelona. Great style of football. We are enjoying very much. It's a long season, but definitely they're going to have a fantastic rate during this international break, at least some of the players.
You know it's good when old Robert hasn't complained, didn't you?
Well, he did, because he won.
Well, he's got a penchant for complaining. He complained at Bayern.
Yes, it takes one to know one.
He complained. He can't help himself, Shaka.
Just carry on.
He complained at Bayern he wasn't getting enough service to win the Golden Boot or whatever award that he was after. He was very outspoken last year about lots of things, from the refereeing in the LALIGA to the opponents being over-aggressive, to the style of his teammates, to the approach to the game. Clearly, he's in a much better frame of mind. He's scoring goals, but clearly I think he's reining it in. Even if it wasn't, there seemed to me a lack of respect between Lewandowski and Xavi, not as players, because we all know Xavi was a wonderful player. But I'm talking about decisions that were being made, tactics and stuff, and you just felt that there was an angst and a needle there, and that sort of came through in the comments of the striker. And when you're doing that, your head's not fully in the game. We talk about Vinicius Junior a lot when we're covering Real Madrid games and how wonderful a player he is, but gets distracted sometimes by not getting decisions that he feels should go his way and blah, blah, blah. And I think even for one so experienced like Robert Lewandowski, when you're fully not, your eyes not fully in the ball.
Most definitely, but you compare and contrast, obviously, the way that he started. Last season, 6 goals in 11, 12 in the opening 11 games here. Yeah. But what's impressive, Shaq, and Gemma mentioned it, it's his front three, who are so decisive going forward. They are going to punish you if you give them a chance, which obviously we saw in that second goal in particular.
And I think there's a lot to it. Lewandowski clearly has rediscovered his scoring touch. And let's be honest, while he was having his struggles last year, certainly at the time we were talking about a 35-year-old, and you just figured that Lewandowski's powers were beginning to wane. So to see him refine this form, and I know certainly of late we've been talking about a lot of players late in their 30s who continue to play outstandingly well, but that's a rarity. So to see Lewandowski refine that form, I think is encouraging in no end of ways. Also, I felt during the course of last season at times he wasn't the leader that maybe Xavi and Barcelona needed him to be, with so many of those young players kind of coming through. I remember one exchange between him and Lamine Yamal when Yamal didn't give him the ball. I just thought wasn't the kind of player that, it wasn't what you wanted out of a player of Lewandowski's experience given the youth. Now well, certainly Lamine Yamal, and it's crazy that I'm saying this about a 17-year-old, just continues to mature in a way that it's hard to explain. And Rafinha, who you thought he was on his way out as well, has been simply outstanding. So Hansi Flick has somehow got everything right with this front three. And then you're reminded that they have injuries and maybe those start to come fit later on in the year and they push in for next season. And how that strengthens, how that gives real depth to a squad that are playing the best football in Spain without question.
There was two senior players, I thought, last year at Barcelona that really, I think in the circumstance, took the wrong approach. Lewandowski and Gundogan.
Yeah, Gundogan, particularly after the Champions League exit, wasn't it?
You know, I get it. You rile up some youngsters behind the scenes. You're the experienced player. You set standards. But these two guys come out and talked about their teammates publicly when actually what they needed, some of them, was maybe a little bit of a severe talking to or a bit of advice in the dressing room, but publicly an arm around them. Not as Gundogan did with Araujo, who, I think it was Araujo.
Yeah, he got sent off in the pitch.
Yeah, he got sent off. Look, fantastic defender. Very experienced player. Knows he made a mistake. Don't need another of my teammates coming out and just basically completely shoving me right under the bus. And that affects the dressing room. And, you know, I think one of the things that Hansi Flick has had to do is go in, before he's even set the stall out with tactics, is how do I manage this dressing room? Man management of a big squad of players, particularly youngsters mixed with senior players, you got to figure that out. And if you can't figure that out, you can be the best coach on the planet, the best. But when you have some disarray behind the scenes and you have too many unhappy players and you have a manager who doesn't have his finger on the pulse with personalities, then you're stuffed. Then you're absolutely stuffed. A coach once said to me, man management is 80 to 90% of running a football club and running a dressing room. The tactics is 10 and 15%. Maybe that's changed a little bit. Maybe that's skewed a little bit more. But the whole old school man managing players, because that's what it is. When you go to work, when you go to your training ground, you want to go to a happy environment. You want to work with a manager who understands you might be having a bad time. You might be struggling with an injury. But at least he understands and he has some empathy and he'll manage the situation. Thus far, and don't forget, Flick did it at Bayern. Mm-hmm. He went in off the back of Niko Kovac, who was having a disaster, who was alienating senior players. Hansi Flick goes in, he manages the game management of running the dressing room, and he turned it around. He's gone in here, the early signs are, he's certainly got his finger on the pulse, the players are responding for him, he's saying the right things, even after Osasuna, not good enough. He's not trying to sugarcoat it. So thus far, I mean, it could all crumble. It could, but it looks unlikely. But thus far, what he's done with the injuries and the kids that he's had to play far supersedes anything anybody else has done this season so far in La Liga. Well,
one of the things that impressed me, and we didn't touch on, in the pre-game press conference, Hansi Flick was asked about the lack of rest days. Mm-hmm. And as I've sat here time and time again and said, you give players a reason to lose, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take it. Hansi Flick said, no, we had 4 days, we're fine. Yeah. And dismissed any notion of too many games, coming too thick, too fast. We rested, we tired. He just said, nope, we had 4 days off, we're fine. And that just put everything in perspective. And I just feel that is little things like that, little statements, little attitudes like that, that make the biggest difference at the highest level.